wanted to get it right, trying to find some balance in my life. I never really put up a fight, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch?
Hey family, how y'all doing today? So today is actually the 30th and it is my anniversary. But guess what I'm doing? Talking to you. But this won't come out for a few days from now. Not doing anything really special for my anniversary, even though it's 20 years. We're going to celebrate it later because we're going to go take our youngest child to the beach for her birthday in April. So we're going to celebrate it then, but we are going to do a little something this weekend. Anywho, so what I came on here to talk about is I wanted to check on you guys and see how you are doing. Honestly, let me know in the comments. How are you doing with everything that's going on? Is it becoming overwhelming for you? Because if it is, pray about it and leave it to God. Let him handle the rest. I know it's a lot. And I was debating, should I pull back? Should I keep going? You know, with giving you the information if I find things. So maybe I might slack off on that. I don't know. And just do the store walkthroughs and do my gardening and my homesteading and that stuff like that. Let me know in the comments, you know, if you don't want to know about all this other stuff that's happening because you are becoming overwhelmed, let me know. I can't promise you I won't do those videos, but maybe I'll cut back on those videos because it can be overwhelming. I know it can, and you have to take a break. Feel free to turn off YouTube, turn off the TV, and just live your life. Just live your life, because I promise you, I'm living mine. I'm living mine. Even though I'm showing you all this stuff, I'm not letting that affect me in a way where I can't enjoy life as it is right now, no matter how hectic it is, because I have learned for these 50-something years of mine, I got to stop worrying about stuff I cannot control. The things I can control, I try to manage those things, but I try not to take it all at one go because it can become too much. So I just was checking on you. How you doing? I hope you're great. And, you know, we are still facing these shortages. It doesn't stop. It's always something new to the shortage list, you know. And now it's that one material, that one raw material that everybody uses every single day, but you don't think about it. So that's what this video is about. I hope that you watch it all the way through. And I found it educational more so than just saying, oh, it's a shortage of this, because this is something I didn't even know, you know, that this material, how it was made, and you know, we use it every single day, and we don't think about those small things because we have so many other things to think about. So I'm not going to make this a long intro, but I really wanted to check on you, and I wanted to share this semi-documentary of the one raw material that we are short of, well, running short of. We're not short of it yet. We're on the verge of running short of it if the supply chain does not get any better. So y'all take care, stay safe. Keep prepping if that's what you're doing, or just keep doing your regular your regular grocery shopping, and pick up a few extra items while you're out there, because I can tell that some panic buying has started. It's not to the point where it's extreme yet, I don't think, at least not in my area. Maybe because the stores knew, retail knew that this was coming. They didn't say anything, but you slowly saw them increasing their stuff and keeping it in the back and then bringing it out when they need to bring it out. But that doesn't mean that's why there are empty shelves. Not every retailer can do that. But the big box stores, they've been stockpiling. They've been prepping. They've been hoarding food. They've been hoarding products because they knew this emergency was going to happen. So, y'all take care. I'll see you in the next video. I love you, but God truly loves you more. He created only one you, but he wants you to love yourself and then go out and spread God's love. Peace, love, and light. Thank you so much for joining Tommy Bites, Carolina Homestead.
We could be on the cusp of a rubber apocalypse.
Fungus affecting rubber-producing plants has destroyed 10% of global supply.
Rubber is increasingly hard to import for some industries. So what's the problem here? Well, it's multiple factors.
7.8 billion and counting people on the planet. We are stretching the carrying capacity of the planet. We know that we're breaching certain boundaries.
The coronavirus pandemic has sent supply chains into a tailspin. First it was toilet paper, then it was ketchup packets, gnomes, semiconductors. Now it's rubber.
Multiple factors are leading to a major rubber shortage around the world.
This could be getting a lot worse. We could be on the cusp of a rubber apocalypse.
To ensure an uninterrupted supply of natural rubber from the few regions of the world which grow it is a major concern of every world power, most of all the United States.
The global natural rubber market was valued at nearly $40 billion in 2020, but
demand for rubber is really continuing to increase.
One analysis predicts the rubber market could be worth nearly $68.5 billion by 2026. Rubber is a critical raw material. Just think, anytime you're going anywhere, by car, plane, or even by foot, you're using rubber. But rubber is also used in your personal protective equipment, like gloves and masks, like the elastics that stretch behind your ears. Plus, it's used in literal rubber bands. And then there are hair ties, underwear, erasers, condoms. Rubber ducks, though, those are plastic. It's used in more than 40,000 commercial products.
You could call it a shortage. Some people are referring to it more as a supply chain disruption.
Rubber producers are working against all odds. Climate change, disease, both COVID and a destructive fungus, not to mention the fight for shipping containers. So, let's break down what exactly this all means for the rubber shortage. Before the coronavirus struck, the rubber industry faced challenges. But to start, here's how rubber is made. Well, natural rubber anyway. It's kind of like how you would tap a tree for maple syrup. Certain trees can be tapped for liquid sap, also known as latex. Latex is gathered from the trees by making a cut in the bark, collecting the runny sap in cups.
By mid-morning, the workers are ready to begin their collection.
It's called the Hevea brasiliensis, and as the name suggests, is a tree that is originary of South America.
Ammonia is added to keep the sap from solidifying. Then acid is added in a process called coagulation to extract the rubber. A few hours later, the mixture goes through rollers to remove excess water, then layers of rubber are hung over racks to dry for a couple of days before being folded into bales for processing. There are synthetic rubbers.
America's synthetic rubber problem nears a solution.
But sometimes it can't be swapped out for the real thing because of natural rubber's particular properties. Take airplane tires as an example. Gotta be 100% natural rubber. And most natural rubber doesn't come from the US, not even North America. In fact, most of the world's natural rubber, 90% of it, comes from
Southeast Asia, Thailand specifically, the largest producer.
The US imported $140 million worth of natural rubber in March 2021 alone. Most of that rubber comes from independent farmers in Southeast Asia, also known as smallholders.
85% of the natural rubber that we have in the world today is produced by smallholders. So these are families that work on lands that are usually 1 to 2 hectares in size. This means they have 1 to 2 soccer or football fields.
Those families of farmers are at war with diseases destroying the crops.
Fungus affecting rubber-producing plants has destroyed 10% of global supply.
But Pestaloteuopsis and Neophysiococcus, the trees are only like 8 feet apart, and they're all clones. So there's very little genetic diversity. So it's a bunch of identical twins for miles on end. So of course, if one gets a bad disease, they're all susceptible to it. There's no immunity. It's a desperately sensitive system.
And farmers face the impacts of climate change on their business.
Extreme weather events last year had a significant impact on that loss in production. But if you've got major floods, you're going to kill your trees. You've got tsunamis and typhoons. Again, major issues on supply.
Farmers have to be strategic about planting their crops.
You have to plant a tree, and that tree takes 4 to 7 years to mature before you can get rubber out of it. So if there's not enough careful planning and enough resources that are put into replanting, then we see what we've seen in the past years, that you have a cyclical nature in the availability of rubber. So basically, the prices are low, right? What happens is that people don't plant because it seems that there's no business case for rubber. At a certain point, demand keeps increasing up to a point where prices start picking up and people start planting rubber a lot. But that rubber doesn't come into fruition until 4 to 7 years after that. And when it comes into the market, then you have a slump in prices.
This causes rubber farmers to face unreliable income streams. That makes it hard to afford resources to fight off those diseases.
Rubber tappers are only being paid like $2 to $6 a day. That's not a living wage. There was no money left to improve the health of the plants. There's no money left for fertilizers or for proper tree maintenance.
And then COVID-19 scrambles the supply chain even further. Now, demand for rubber is spiking. Part of the reason? Car tires.
So tires is by far the largest consumer of natural rubber. But what really matters is how much are people using tires. With food deliveries and, well, not just food, but goods in general, we are using tires more and more.
Shipping containers are hard to come by.
We're hearing that rubber is increasingly hard to import for some industries. So what's the problem here? Well, it's multiple factors. A lack of shipping containers, bottleneck caused by the Suez Canal, and a recent surge in demand from end users.
Supply chains are very much at capacity at the moment during COVID. The sheer fact that because people are at home and the way the things are working, the shipment of goods has increased.
And since most rubber comes from Thailand, 15,000 miles away, the shipping delays have caused businesses to find alternative routes.
Consumers who buy direct in Southeast Asia have been utilizing air transport to bring natural rubber those 15,000 miles from Southeast Asia to the United States.
Security. And it's really U.S. security. It's homeland security.
Of all critical and strategic materials, rubber is the one which presents the greatest threat to the safety of our nation.
We don't have rubber, we have no security.
Besides security, the U.S. simply also has to meet demand.
Some scientists see opportunity here. Dr. Cornish at Ohio State University is developing rubber from plants. She's still 2 to 3 years away from getting this to market, though.
Working on sustainable solutions to growing rubber in the U.S. Turns out rubber is harvestable from dandelions.
Just broke that root. You see the latex coming out of the roots there?
System that I developed at university where you can grow the dandelions hydroponically, cut the roots off, grow them back down, cut them off, grow them back down, cut them off. And you get a very highly productive system for rubber production.
But for the U.S. to be a real rubber player, it'll take a lot of time, commitment, and cash.
Somebody has to come up with the money to build that vertical farm. And those things really expensive. It's like $1 billion for a 10-acre farm, vertical farm with 12 layers.
There also needs to be processing plants. And Cornish says it'll take a $40 million investment to make that first processing plant. Until rubber innovations hit the market, the U.S., and the rest of the world for that matter, will stay dependent on Southeast Asia for natural rubber.